Hello everyone, it's your teen librarian Asha here from the Hoboken Public Library, and in honor of St. Patrick's Day and Irish Heritage Month, I'm going to be showing you how to make your own Irish soda bread for this week's Fun Video Friday. To make your own traditional Irish soda bread this St. Patrick's Day, you're going to need 4 simple ingredients. The first ingredient is about 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Although this dish is very popular for families to make leading up to St. Patrick's Day, it doesn't actually go back that far. Instead, it only goes back to the early 1800s when baking soda became available. The reason this recipe was so popular was because it was easy and cheap to make for a lot of poor families, as they would have these ingredients and be able to make their own bread. And although many people put raisins in their Irish soda bread today, traditional Irish soda bread wouldn't have had raisins unless it was for a treat, as it wouldn't have been easy for the families to get back then. Next, you're going to need half a teaspoon of salt. I'm using sea salt today, but traditionally they wouldn't use sea salt in this recipe. Next, we're going to need 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda is what causes the bread to rise and what gives it its signature texture in this recipe. The next thing you're going to need is a flour sifter. It's a little mesh bowl. I got mine from my local grocery store. They're not hard to find. And you're going to sift all these dry ingredients through the sifter, and it's going to make it a fine texture. We're going to take a separate bowl, put our sifter over it, and then we're going to slowly pour our flour, baking soda, salt mixture in and use a spoon to sift it through until it comes out fine on the other side. And we're going to keep doing that until we have sifted all of our dry mixture. Once you have your finished sifted flour mixture, you're going to use your spoon and create a well in the middle of the bowl. Then we're going to add in our last ingredient, which is 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Traditionally, they would have used sour milk, but now we have buttermilk to provide the moisture and give it its flavor. Now we're going to pour our buttermilk into the little well of dry mixture that we made and get ready for the next part because it's going to be messy. You should always wash your hands before you start cooking, but for this recipe you might want to wash them extra hard because you're going to have to put your hands in this mixture and mix it up until it becomes a good dough. So you want to get your hands in there and you're going to mix in the flour from the sides of the bowl into the butter mixture. You'll want to do that until you create a dough that's soft but not wet or sticky. If you find that your dough feels wet and sticky, you can add a little bit more flour into the mixture until it's a good soft but dry consistency. Once your mixture turns into a nice soft but not wet and sticky dough, you're going to take it out and we're going to put it on a well-floured work surface to start kneading it. We're going to lightly flour our working surface and make sure your hands are washed and dried for this next part. So you're going to put your dough on the surface and then you're going to knead it lightly for a couple of seconds. So how you knead it is you're going to fold the top of the dough onto the end and press down with the heel of your hands onto the dough. Then you're going to turn it 90 degrees and do that again for a couple of seconds. Then you're going to pat your dough into a round shape about 1.5 inches thick. You're going to put your bread on a lightly buttered baking sheet and then using a sharp knife you're going to cut a deep cross into the center of the dough. Some families believed that the cross in the dough would ward off evil and protect their household, and that's how traditional soda bread got its signature appearance. Now we're going to put our bread into an oven preheated to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. We're going to set a timer and let our bread bake for 15 minutes in the oven. After 15 minutes, we're going to turn the oven down to 400 degrees and leave our bread in for another 30 minutes to bake. Once your bread is done baking, the top of it should be golden brown and the bottom of the bread should have a hollow sound while tapping. I'll show you in a second. Here's our finished bread and I'm going to turn it over and tap on it with a non-sharp knife to show you how it sounds. As you could hear, it kind of sounds like when you bounce a basketball, so that's the hollow sound that you want your bread to have. Now let's cut it open and enjoy a slice. Ooh, that had such a nice cutting sound. And now we can enjoy our bread with a nice stew or some corned beef and cabbage if you're being a bit more traditional this St. Patrick's Day. But I think I'm just going to enjoy my bread with a little bit of delicious Irish butter that I bought from the store. You can enjoy your bread however you would like. I hope you enjoyed watching this recipe video. If you'd like to see more fun recipes and crafts by the Hoboken Library, follow our Instagram, Hoboken Library Teens, and check out the Hoboken Library website to see what fun teen and tween programs we have going on. Happy St. Patrick's Day!